So why am I carrying a bag of hardwood pellets for a stove or something back to my van when it's pretty cold outside and there's no stove in the van? Well, if you clicked on the video, you saw the thumbnail, you know that it probably has something to do with my cats, and it does. Yes, it does have something to do with the cats. However, it's very cold outside and I kind of want to give you a little bit of a demonstration. So I'm going to warm up first, but this is a vlog sort of forever in the making. If you're new to the channel, we're going to flash back here and check out some stuff that I did a long time ago when my life was different, when I was still living at my parents', when I was still building out the van. And it's going to go maybe even a little deeper than that. Let's think of it kind of like Inception. I'll see you back here in a little bit. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt. The channel is Vanlife+Movies. If it's your first time here, maybe consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here. What I'm working on today is I'm finally sort of working, I should say finally, because it actually started a while ago, but I'm working on the cat litter area, right? So this is where it's going to be. That's one of their pens right now. I'll explain how I do their litter a little bit later. I need to have a space for them to do their business. So I actually... my buddy Mike and I actually broke ground on this quite a few months back, and I filmed it all, and that was the design of this thing. So real quick, let's cut to that footage so I don't feel like I wasted my time. So I wasn't planning on filming today, was just gonna do some minor catch-up work, but things started, Mike showed up again, and when that happens, stuff usually starts to get done. So we're in the back corner of the box here. We've put these coverings on the box, and we are measuring out an area for the kitty cats. Pooper. So that's what we're figuring out right now. I think we're just going to do that, and then maybe I'll give you a rundown of what we did once it's done. It's an IKEA board from a bookshelf that I clearly don't have room for in the van. So I wanted the litter box to sit on something smooth and something that's kind of waterproof in case of over splash. So I figured we'd use the bookshelf shelves as its floor. So that's what we're doing right now. That's what Mike's doing right now. I'm eating chips. I'm eating those honey mustard Pringles. Oh, time to cut a board. The master at work. Because nothing's straight in a van, he has to angle this last piece of platform. Again, IKEA furniture. The reason it actually came from this here, which is a bookshelf I bought actually not too long before having to move out of the apartment. So nice to see it going to good use as opposed to getting thrown out. He moves so fast. He's back here. Freaking. Oh, all right, there he goes. don't laugh. How many ticks is it?
Oh, this one's 8 ticks.
I do have a straight edge somewhere, but I guess that's a straight edge too. So. Ooh, buddy. Let's see about this. This is going to be dangerous.
I'm going to need you to hold this.
Oh, dang! Okay, hang on. No, it's like... I'm going to need you to hold this. You need me to help build my van? All right, so let's see where this is going. Yeah, back there. Let's see if his calculations were correct. Whoa! Look at that. And this is gonna go perfect. No, I'm not gonna be in this shot. I've done enough. So the litter box pan is a little tiny bit too wide, just enough to drive me up the wall. So I'm just gonna probably ruin everything. I have to go buy a new litter box after this. I'll slice my finger. Now it's so good, dude. I don't know if you can see it. Perfect. Okay, so I decided instead of filming the entire process this time, I just wanted to have a day with Mike and build this stuff. I don't know where I would be at without him, but he knows that. I'm very thankful for his help. So anyways, yeah,
I've got cats. 2 of them, Stella and Penny. I used to have a lot more. We'll get into that someday. But they're gonna be coming along with me. I'm slowly breaking them into the van. You know, I bring them out here for a few minutes every day and just let them kind of hang out. They're not big fans of it right now because there's not a lot of places for them to go in terms of levels and whatnot. I do have plans, like over here as an example. Up here, I want to build a bit of a platform for them to jump up on so they can get some height on me and whatnot. I think that'll be pretty cool. This was the project for today because obviously, like everybody, they're gonna need a place to go to the bathroom. So this is the litter box they currently use. I use wood pellets. This isn't permanently here yet, but this is kind of what we did today. So that's a trim piece. This has to come out. And again, IKEA boards, recycling. This is what we did, is we built this frame. I keep saying we, and I guess it's true. I helped, but Mike did the majority of the work. So this is the space we had to work with, right? We attached the plywood to the sides of the wheel well boxes. I still need one more piece of plywood here, and then I think a bit of MDF board on the top so it can open up. And so I knew this was the space I wanted to work with. I wanted to be able to access it from the back doors in order to clean it and throw it out and do all of that stuff. I've got one piece, let me see here, of trim here that's not attached to the van yet. This is where the jack for the van was. So this is gonna go here. I just have to screw that in. Creates some of the, I don't want to say tension, but it creates the space that keeps the litter box nice and snug. And then Mike measured out the framework for this base, and then we attached this IKEA shelf to it. Mike, come back, I already screwed it up. Just kidding. That goes back there. And then it's going to have trim pieces all around it. The other 2 pieces that are going to go on this side and then back here are currently drying. I'll attach those to the box. And once I get the wheel well box done, then I will be actually attaching this base to the box. So everything's just a little bit more solid and connected to the van. Let's go meet the cats. Hi guys. Yeah, they're not too happy being in here. I'm getting them slowly used to the whole process. They went from an apartment to this current living situation, same as me. So everything about cats, as far as I am concerned, is you just go a little slow. I've had cats my whole life. They are very resilient. They can adjust to anything given enough time. And these 2 will do just fine. Penny is definitely the outdoor cat for sure. So I know I get her out in the woods, she's gone. Stella, she went on a weekend bender once when I lived in Edmonton, but she did come back, so I don't know. But she's not a big fan of being outside. She does like to look out her window. So that's why I think it's very important that I get them levels in the van so they can jump up, look out the windows, and all that sorts of stuff. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think we started just around lunchtime, maybe a little bit before then. I would be at this stage, which is basically like platform done, probably by about 7 o'clock tonight if I was doing it on my own, and it wouldn't look this good. So again, it's nice to know people. That was done forever ago. I think that was back in, I don't know, April, May. So this little box has been here, this little perimeter box or whatever has been here forever, basically. It's been a nice little spot to like put the Mr. Buddy or put my Luggable Lou or extra sweaters and whatnot. But now that we're getting really closer to the date where we got to be in the van full time, I got to finish this off. Now I was just going to leave it open air, and then I was thinking, number one, I don't want it to be open air because yuck, more of an enclosed space for them to go and do their business. So I'm using all this leftover MDF that has this nice sort of waterproof cover on it from my old IKEA furniture, and I'm going to build up a bit of a box around it. Right, so here, I'll get you in here to look at it. So we're gonna build this box up. So I've construction adhesive and braced these 2 pieces together. These were just, I wanna say they were shelves of something, but I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna build around them. Another reason I wanted to do it, not only did I want it to be enclosed for them, but then I can utilize the space above it. I could build on top of the box for extra storage for myself. Because just looking at this, with having the cat litter box there as open air, all of this space is being unused, which is not great. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is very similar to the battery box build that I did, which I lost the footage to. Hashtag sad day. But when it came to the battery box, I had no idea what I was doing. I had to design around the space and kind of figure it out as I went. That's exactly what's happening with this as well. I also can't permanently enclose it because I need to be able to get the box out. So I don't know if I'm gonna make this part a door that opens this way, or if I'm gonna make a lid on top that opens up this way. That's what I wanted to do originally, but then going back to the using the space, if I want to build on top of the box, having a lid there is not really going to work. Or the other alternative is I can make this the door, which probably makes the most sense. The question would be, let me see, if this wasn't here, or I guess if it was open, how hard is it to get this? Yeah, see, it's not ideal because it's so narrow. I need to figure out how I want to make access to it. This does make the most sense, but then the problem with this one being the door, so if the top is an issue because then I wouldn't have stuff on top, or if this one's an issue because then the bed would have to be pushed in, this one's an issue because I've got this little trim piece here that is actually raised. So then if this was the piece that becomes the door, it's going to actually have to be up so it can clear that. It's all fun and frustrating at the same time trying to figure this stuff out. Like, it's like when it comes to stuff like this, part of you wants to just be like, I wish there was a blueprint for this, but then the other part realizes that's impossible because no one's ever built this before. So I just gotta go with it. What I'm gonna do now is make this wall. Whether it's gonna become a door or not, I don't know. But I've got another piece of this right here, and I've measured that little red line there. I need that much just to fill this space here. So let's start with that, shall we? Okay, so we got that brace on the back screwed in, and I just reinforced here with a little bit more construction adhesive and just kind of wiped it off as best as I could. I'll probably end up painting these gray a bit as well, because this one without the brace, this will be the outside. So I'm gonna leave that now. I may actually leave this overnight. Okay, so continuing on with some work on this litter box, I'm spray painting the pieces right now so they match the rest of the gray. And I've got this little piece of the subfloor that was left over. And what this will do is I need a brace. Like, as an example, I gotta cut this piece of wood still, but it's gonna be here and then up for the lid that I wanna build to sit on this piece, which is the one that's been painted and drying. The lid will attach here and there, and the door will be here. But I didn't want this piece to interfere with the lid opening. So this should give me just enough separation, right? So the lid will be able to open up unhindered. I don't know, this is flying by the seat of my pants. I've got this piece here. This is gonna be the top. I need to cut it here and on the far side. And I've got these braces in here now. So they're in with construction adhesive and screws. So this is the one wall. This is the other one. This one's just attached to the wheel well box. Obviously you can see that, right? And then that, once it's cut and painted, will just get construction adhesive and screwed to these. And then this part, once painted, will become the door right here. Then the kitties have a little bit of privacy. Although the whole issue with the cats is becoming a thing. With everybody moving and everything that's going on, my two cats, Stella, and Penny. Long story short, Stella will do great in here. Penny, I could see becoming a bit of an issue. So we may be making a trip to BC with Penny for her new forever home with my parents, or possibly on the farm with Byron, but we'll see. Who knows? If I've learned anything, is that everything can change in a moment. You can quote me on that. Dry fit, looks good. Okay, moving right along. I don't know which way is up anymore. I've got so many things on the go. Sink, box, DC to DC charger, cleaning the garage. It's a good time. But this top is more or less dry. I hit it with 3 coats. This box is not going to last. I know that because the covering on the MDF board doesn't take, or I guess the paint doesn't take to it very well, but 3 coats, good enough. I need to start feeling like I'm making headway on all this sporadic stuff, because not only do I have all that stuff on the go, but the van is a mess. So if I can get a few things done feel good about today, and then move on to other things. So now we're just going to attach this. We're going to hit this edge and this edge with some construction adhesive, line this guy up, and zip it all down with some screws. And it'll be nice to have this done, because then I have a platform to put a few more things like shelving units possibly, or some sort of little container for like socks and whatnot, is what I've kind of noticed the van is lacking. A place to put my socks and my ginch. All right, let's do this. So this is probably going to end up being the absolute jankiest thing and most out of place thing in the van build, but that's all right. And what I'm probably going to do as well is put a bracket here, an L bracket, and attach it to the studs that we put on the frame forever ago, just for a little bit more added support in this corner, because it's of course only attached here and there with nothing along this or this, right? Yeah, that'll probably be a good idea. Maybe even two. One on top over here, one on bottom over there. Here we go. Now hopefully the cats still go in there. All right, so I've got a door on there. It janky as all get out. That's fine. Gonna need to get a latch to hold it on. Not 100% sure I'll do that because we do have this overhang here, but whatever. It is sealed up. It clears this, and it will give me access to get the litter box out. So perfect. One more thing off the checklist. That was a reversed check mark. Welcome back. So if you've made it this far, that was a quick, I don't know how quick, rundown of how I designed that area and my approach to the fact that I was going to be living in the van full time with two cats. So now that that's out of the way, let's go back outside now that I'm nice and warm, and I'll show you what the wood pellets do, or are for. They're for their litter. I don't know why I'm being so dramatic. Just come on. Okay, so that is a 40-pound bag of hardwood pellets. It's $7. It's $6.99. Comes out to like almost $8 with GST or something ridiculous like that. And I just put it into this Rubbermaid bin, which is a 38 liter. It all fits into this Rubbermaid bin quite nicely. Let me show you here. And all the wood pellets are in here, right? If you've been watching for a while, you know my whole 40 Creek Nanaimo bar whiskey. This came free with one of the bottles. It's coming in very handy as a scoop. So that goes in there. And if you've never seen this before, this is where their litter box is. Oh, perfect. It needs to be clean. So let's go through this whole process right now. Okay, so when I need to change their litter, I made this compartment big enough that I can fit this plastic litter pan in by just sort of squeezing it. And it's just two litter pans that were exactly the same. And I don't know if you can see in here. Yeah, see all these holes? I just drilled those with my drill, just drilled and then dragged the drill bit to make them a little bit larger. Because what happens with the wood pellets, when the cats pee on them, it turns to sawdust. So then I just grab these, separate them a little bit. And now all the wood pellets it had turned to sawdust are in the bottom pan, and I can just toss that. So I can't take credit for this idea. This is something else that I found on YouTube forever ago. At the height of it, we had 6 cats and we were using that clay litter, and that stuff sucks. Like, I always kind of knew in the back of my head that it was bad for the environment, but it was also just bad for us, like to have in the house, breathing in that dust from it. It's the clay stuff, you know, the clumping litter, that stuff is horrible, and it would get everywhere. The cats track it everywhere. This stuff works so good. Sorry. And it smells like wood, like a pine forest, basically. Well, that's a little a bit of an exaggeration, not quite like a pine forest, but it's way better than that clay stuff, because that clay stuff, yeah, sure, it clumps and it's easy to scoop out, but it stinks. This stuff is awesome, and the only time I ever know when a cat has used the washroom is when they do a number 2. And in that case, I just have a whole bunch of doggy bags back here, and you just scoop it out. It's the middle of the night. Yes, it can be a rude awakening. That's just part of living with 2 cats in a van. I have been pleasantly surprised with how this has worked out so far. Okay, I need to warm up again. So yeah, that's really simple. I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and the whole process for giving the cats a place to do their business and dealing with it as you have to when you're a pet owner. That was all just something I just sort of came up with. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I needed things to be. Leaned on Mike a little bit, especially at the beginning. It wasn't going to initially be that enclosed structure, but I'm really glad I went that way. I knew that the wood pellets were going to be a thing, because I was using that in the sticks and bricks with them for the longest time, because it is a game changer. If you've got cats and you have the ability to just make your own little makeshift litter box, because you could buy 2 litter pans for like $10 each, drill holes in one, and you've made a sifting one. You could probably just use a pre-made sifting litter box. Look, it's like a flashback to the old iPhone where the exposure just wouldn't stay. Anyway, you could probably use a pre-made sifting litter box, but they tend to be a lot more expensive, and I wasn't sure if the holes in those would be too big that the wood pellets would fall through, so I just made it myself out of those 2 pans. And if it gets really gross, I just take it out, dump the wood pellets out, clean it with my cleaning spray, and we're good to go. And if it deteriorates over time because it's plastic, and okay, nothing lasts forever, I'll just buy 2 more pans and make a new one. It's no big deal, right? So the wood pellets I cannot recommend enough, though. Like, they are a game changer when it comes to owning cats. And it's not only is it better for the environment, because you're not all that clay litter that goes in the garbage. I don't have firsthand experience. I'm not saying this from my own personal knowledge, but what I'm heard, that's the kind of stuff that can pile up and doesn't decompose and is just really adding to the problem. So the wood pellets help that way, because it just turns to sawdust. I could just throw it on the side of the road or on some grass, in theory, right? Not that I do that, but you can throw it in your green bins, right, where you recycle leaves and whatnot, because it's all just wood, and it captures the pee smell very well. I never notice a pee smell when it comes to the cats, but like I quickly mentioned when I was going through it back there, yeah, you live with cats in a van. When they do their number 2, you're gonna notice. And I've woken up in the middle of the night a couple times, but you just deal with it. I keep the doggy bags really handy, scoop it, tie it, throw it in the garbage, good to go. Especially those scented doggy bags. Now, those, as far as I'm concerned, are extremely overpriced as well, but they come with the added benefit of being scented. So those are the ones that I would use when I can't leave the cab. But if I'm going to be at the back of Lucky getting rid of their cat poop while I'm outside, like in the summer, as an example, and it's going directly into some garbage bin that's outside of the van, then I just go to the dollar store. You can get like, I don't know, it's like a 6-roll thing for $2 or $3. So anyways, that was a fun little entry in the vlog. I had a lot of fun putting it together the way that I've done. I thought it was the best way to sort of present this off-putting topic in hopefully an entertaining way, because hashtag cat poop is a real thing when you decide to live in a van with 2 cats. And they're both sleeping right now, so I will say until the next one, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves, and most importantly, just be positive, and I'll see you all in the next one.